All right, it looks like we're live. I'm just going to give my computer a moment and make sure it catches up and works like it's supposed to. Yay, I even see it. All right, so I think we're good to go. Let me mute that so we don't have to hear anything double. Hello, everyone. Welcome. I think everyone is waiting and ready. Or not everyone, but a lot of everyone. Hello from Illy to Melly and Sarah. Hurricane Ian. I've been hearing a lot about that. We are about as far away as we can get from it up here in Washington State, but been thinking of all of you down there in Florida a lot. All right, hey, and Leah's here and everything. We were just like on the ball today. I think I was almost even slightly early. So I'm gonna make sure everyone has a minute or two to find this. It's been a minute or two since I've done a live. I did one with Leah when I was in Minnesota here. That was our fun surprise one where I had to work really hard to keep quiet and not share that I was down there, or not down, over there at Leah's house, and we popped in together on a live. But and then I got back to kind of some crazy family stuff. So this is the first time in a little while that I've actually popped on to do a live all on my own. So welcome everybody. Hello, Donna and Sandy and Janet. Welcome, welcome. All right, so as everybody keeps filing in here, thank you, Audrey. We had fun with that. I know we were a little nerdy about the fun we had with that, but it sure was fun. All right, so as everyone starts to file in here today, let me just make sure I remember all the normal things. Again, I feel like I'm a little out of the groove here. So yes, Leah is behind the scenes, Carol, today. So we give away a $15 gift card every time. That's probably a good place to start. And the way to enter for that is just what you all are doing. Leave all of those comments in the chat with your other friends that are there. Ask any questions as you have them. I'll do my best to watch and answer those as I'm crafting live. And Leah, of course, who's moderating behind the scenes, wherever you see that Pinkfresh name, that's Leah behind the keyboard there. We both catch each other's questions when we're the one behind the camera instead of live, but she does a great job of that. If somehow we both miss it, please just leave the comment again. Sometimes they just kind of move by, or we get distracted answering one question and miss something. But I promise we're not ignoring you. If you have any questions about the product I used today, they are all linked in the video description. Feel free to ask, but if you just want to know that it's there as a reference, if I change anything that I use, which sometimes happens live, you just never know quite what's going to happen, then I try and update those right after the live, but I'll try and kind of show you everything as we use it so you can see. One other thing that we really appreciate is if you hit that little thumbs up button. That just kind of helps more people find this and be able to join the fun with us. And I don't remember if I added another entry for the $15 gift card, is if you can share this video. It can be in a message to a friend, an email. You can share it on your own personal social media. If there's a group you're part of that you want to share it with, as long as you know it's allowed with the group rules, they're all different. So just double check that before you do it. And then come back and just leave us a comment and let us know that you shared. And then that'll count as another entry that Leah will pick from at the end of the live. And then one final thing, I saw Elizabeth, this is her first live. If this is your first live, please leave us a comment and let us know. We love to welcome you. And we're so glad you found us and are joining us. I'm going to say a blanket welcome now to any newbies that are joining us, because I definitely miss a lot of those once I start crafting and going through. But we're going to play together with some more of our most recent holiday release. We're going to make kind of a fun wintry card. I did my go-to. I went to Pinterest to look for some color inspiration, and I kind of pulled out kind of a fun wintry, fresh, different color combo that I think is going to be fun. So I'm kind of excited to play with that and do something a little bit different. Leah used this for a Facebook Live several weeks ago, and I did create a card with it for the release. So I'm kind of excited to do something a little less traditional with this. And welcome to Jean and Elizabeth and Preeti. There's a few newbies in there, so welcome to all of you. All right, I'm going to go ahead and switch my camera around here, and we'll go ahead and get started on our card for today. Oh, sorry, I've got something in the way there. Okay, and pull some stuff closer here. We're going to use the Holiday City View stencil. We're also going to use, at least my plan right now, is to use the fun Noel hot foil plate and die. I'm not sure what color foil I want to use for this yet. I'm going to kind of wait until I get the stenciling done and kind of see how the color comes out. And then we'll pick our foil. So I'm going to reverse a little bit. I'm going to do the stenciling first. A lot of times we do the foiling at the beginning, but I'm going to go ahead and just kind of change things up a little bit today. We'll do our stenciling first, and then we'll move on to the hot foiling. And I have a couple ideas in my head of how this is going to come out, or some of the ways it might. We'll see if that is the reality and how it actually comes out as we get to that point in the cards. So let me grab some cardstock, because of course I forgot that. And I've got, this is red rubber. So of course I pulled out my foam mat because the red rubber is thicker, so you don't need that. I do find, just like Leah, if I leave a couple extra pieces of cardstock in there, and I don't know if it's just I've used this so much, it's old, it's getting worn out, things are flexing, warping, whatever. It just gives me a little extra height and a little extra contact that I feel like I get a better impression. I love it when you wing it. Okay. Well, sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. So we'll just cross our fingers and hope for the best today. All right, so I'm going to start off by stamping this. I'm going to leave it in my Misty because afterwards we're going to stamp over it in detail black. I kind of went with kind of a fresh modern look, and I really like the idea of stamping in black over the top. But I'm going to start with just one of my colors that I'm going to use for my ink blending. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp it in this. It'll just give me something to line up the stencils over and kind of just have those details to follow along with. So, and it's not crazy dark. The reason I'm not doing detail black, if you're new around here and don't know that, our detail black is a hybrid ink. So it takes a little bit of time to dry. So we like to give it, you can either heat set it or stamp it and give it lots of time to dry before you ink blend. Otherwise it might be prone to a little bit of smearing, and I don't want to risk that. So this is a trick we use a lot, where we stamp it in a lighter color, do our ink blending, and then come back and restamp over the top. And I didn't worry about I probably would have stamped this a couple times if I just wanted to use it as a background with this color. But since I'm going to ink blend and restamp, I'm not even a little bit worried about the imperfection, because I can still line this up. And now that Leah pointed that out as well, yes, this stamp press that we've been sneaking and showing here for weeks, and everyone's been super excited about, it's finally available. So if you've been waiting to get your hands on it, now is your chance. Okay, I'm just going to set this aside. We'll bring this back over in a little bit. But in the meantime, I'm going to start doing our ink blending and pull out those coordinating stencils. Now, if you ever need a reference, I always point this out. There's a really great photo on the back that always gives kind of an idea of just how the stencils can work depending on what colors you use. So a lot of times I'll start with that color combo and then just kind of move out from there to get my ideas and what I want to do. Oh, Lee Murphy, I'm so glad you love that. It's one of our favorite little tricks here that we do in lives all the time. And it's so handy to have that option. All right, I'm just gonna kind of take my time here, wiggle this around, get it lined up perfectly. And then start with our very first ink color. And I also realize I need to grab my blending brushes out. So let me do that as well. Okay. So this is just because I think sometimes the blending brushes are almost as pretty as the finish. But this is going to be the colors we're going to use for our houses today. Aren't those fun? I think those are super cool. Sorry, that was really noisy. But let's go ahead and start with nice and soft here. We're going to do Ballet Slipper for our first one. Don't let your hubby use it to smash a spider. I just realized I think that's backwards. You're talking about the stamp press? Goodness, no. Nothing touches a spider that comes back into my hands. So I'm not a fan of spiders. So definitely not gonna, that needs to be something that either gets thrown away or washed off. Like even, I can't even handle him using my shoes to kill a spider. He can use his own shoes and then clean them really well. Okay, I'm gonna stamp or ink blend here. I'm gonna start down kind of at the bottom of each of these houses, and I'm gonna blend up so it ends in a softer color at the top, and the deepest color is there at the bottom. I just kind of like that changed the gradation and stuff. I know Donna, is that Donna that said, yeah, the stamp. See, when I first saw the stamp set, when Canary showed us to it when it was in the design phase, it didn't have the stencils yet. She was trying to work and get those to work perfectly because, you know, that's important. And I just loved it, just how intricate and pretty it is, even without the stencils. But then you add the stencils and it's just such a fun little addition to them that I love. Okay, about done here. Ballet Slipper is pretty pale. I use the same brush for Coral Reef and Ballet Slipper, so I think I have, this isn't straight Ballet Slipper, there's a little hint of Coral Reef in there too, but those colors work really well together, so I don't mind it too bad. Okay. All right, let's pull this off and take a look at the first layer. I even like that blue stamping on there, to be honest, which is kind of funny. I mean, we might get to the end. I'm still pretty set on trying the detail black, but I bet this would be fun stamped in like a deep blue, like Stargazer or Sapphire or something like that as well. Okay, let's move on. We're going to use Peach Fuzz for the next layer. But let's go ahead and get it lined up and on here first. And again, I just kind of take a little time. These ones are pretty easy to line up, but there's the lines are so fine that the tiniest variation, it still is pretty and whimsical, but the tiniest little variation can make the difference of whether it overlaps the line or whatever. So I just like to take my time and kind of work up to it. All right, Peach Fuzz now, we're gonna do the same thing, a little softer at the top, keep the deeper color at the bottom. And these are kind of two of the biggest areas. That's why I started with my two softest colors. I feel like they're kind of the larger size houses. So I kind of wanted to keep my larger images kind of that softer tones of the colors. And can you kind of see how I've blended them deeper at the bottom and a little faded off to the softer color at the top? Oh, Sherry, new ink colors. Just keep crossing your fingers with us that we can kind of overcome supply chain issues and get them, because I think I'm more excited than anyone else. Leah and I both, we've been super anxiously awaiting those. All right. Super fun. Don't you love those soft colors? All right, on to the next one. I'll pull out the next color here in just a minute. But let's go ahead and line up that stencil first. Again, taking my time, wiggling it around. And I'm happy with where it's placed. And then I'm gonna bump up to our next pink tone for this one. Oh, Laura, layering stencils are so fun and addicting. No doubt about it. I feel like they've turned me in some ways into a lazy crafter, because so much easier to use layering stencils than coloring and all that kind of stuff. So, all right, that one up there is pretty small, so we don't need a bunch up there. Make sure you've got all that extra color on there. And Donna, that's very true, even when they overlap a little. So you can definitely not worry about it. Just for this one, I really wanted to go with the crisp lines. All right, we're getting close there. Look at that bright pop of pink. Isn't that a fun little addition? Okay, on to, oops, okay. Figure out where I'm going here. There we go. Okay, there we are. Then we're going to go on here to our slightly deeper orange. That, Esther, that does make me think of the Nutcracker. All right, apricot now. So we're moving up to the deeper orange, bumping up the colors. So those first layers were those really soft tones. These ones were kind of adding a brighter pop of color. I feel like that kind of brings up that modern vibe a little bit to it. All right, I think that's good on this one. And Donna, you know what? That I admire that if you can get more done with Copics. And that's what I love. And that's why we don't offer a lot of bundles and we leave things kind of individual, because some people would love to buy an image like this and watercolor or color it with Copics. Some people are all there for the layering stencils. So it just kind of depends what you're in for there. Okay. All right. And let's do our last color. If you saw my sneak peek, you probably know already, but what color do you think I'm going to use for my last one? Give it a second here before I pull it out. Actually, I think I gave a hint with the blending brushes already too. I'm going to do Slumber, and I love that it's kind of a purpley blue. It's got kind of a pretty tone that I think is going to work really well with these. I just realized I might not have cleaned the orange off of my glass mat there. Okay, so this is going to match with the same ink that we already stamped these images in, but it's just going to bring that little bit of a warm, or not warm, cool blue tone. But like I said, I love how it kind of has a hint of almost a purpley tone to it. It's one of my favorites. Okay. Now, as pretty as this already has been to come together. Oops, hold on. That stencil. So even if I was going to keep that same ink color, I would still stamp over the top of this with that blue ink again, because as beautiful as that is, I don't know if you can kind of see just the ink going over. It feels like you lose a little bit of the definition, and it's covered a little bit with the ink. So if you stamp over the top, even in the same color, it just really brings that fresh, crisp image back. But let's go ahead and see how it looks done in black. And Carol, it looks really fun in greens and reds. We've had a few, I think I did some similar, a little more traditional heat embossed in gold and over the top. Being really careful here to make sure I'm lined up down in that same corner, lined up against this edge in the same corner like I did when I stamped. And I'm going to grab that detail black and let's go for this. That we'll probably stamp a couple times just to make sure we fully get the image. Stamp press here. Let's get all pressed down really well. Definitely going to stamp this again, but you can already kind of see the image coming together a little bit there. But let's go ahead, ink that up. This is such a dainty little stamp. And the beauty of a stamp positioner is you can stamp it and stamp it as many times as you need to get that really dark, crisp impression. And hit those little spots. I think there's a few spots that I could even use a little more paper behind there. Keep going because I want to cover up that blue just a little bit more. Normally I'd use a gray or an even softer color, but I wanted to make sure that it would show up well on camera for you guys. So just going to kind of hit some of those little spots where I noticed it stamping a little bit lower. And again, that just has to do with my Misty kind of getting worn out a little bit there. But I think that's pretty good. You know what? I'm just going to stamp it one more time. We'll just give it one more good solid. Make sure we have it all the way covered. Right. I'm really happy with that. Now look at just how crisp and modern and fun. Isn't that pretty? Oh, makes me happy. I wasn't quite sure how that was gonna all come out in the end. So there's always that little moment of what's it gonna look like when it's all said and done. So, okay. Right, Susie? I mean, if you're gonna use a stamp positioner, we might as well take advantage of the perks. And I just saw Leah mentioning our stamp cleaner, our homemade recipe that Leah and I both use. I'm gonna use that real quick. I just spray it on. And I forgot to get my cloth damp, so I have a spray bottle of water. So I just made this a little bit damp just to scrub over and get that detail black off. You can use a toothbrush to get in there, but even as detailed as this is, a pretty easy. The red rubber is a little easier to come clean, I feel like, even with the detail black. So, all right. So we're all done with this now. Let's put that away so it's out of sight, out of mind. And then let's do a quick little look and decide what we want to do for the hot foil color. While we look at that, I'm going to turn my hot foil machine on. Bear with me here for just a second so that can start preheating. And I want to use, I just got, so the recipe for the stamp cleaner, it's on our website under facts, and Leah probably posted it there, but basic, yeah, stamping related questions. I knew it was something like that. I just couldn't remember specifically. And I'm pretty sure, so these are new satin metallics that I just got from Spellbinders. I have not even used these yet. So I was looking for a good excuse. So we're gonna do that today. So there's this one that's kind of silvery, kind of a pink silvery tone. I don't know how else to describe it. Or there's this one that's kind of almost like a champagne gold. And I think I'm gonna do that kind of pink colored one. So we'll see how this goes. It will be that we're stepping out and trying it live. If it doesn't work, then we'll try something else. So one idea I had, oh, and you know what? Before we get too far too, I think I'm gonna add, I want some snow splatters on there too. So I'm probably gonna add some of that, but we are gonna use the Noel hot foil plate. I'm gonna die cut this panel down. I'm almost pondering though. Here's where my brain is going. I almost thought it would be fun to cut a window, use this to cut through the trees, cut a window, and put the hot foiled Noel behind that. Then take these die cut pieces and make another kind of graphic, fun, simple, different card. I'm torn, but I am kind of debating on that. So real quick, let's die cut that. Grab a frame dye real quick here. Check. We'll just use diagonal stitched rectangles. That'll be a good starting point here. Let me wiggle that around, pick where I want to cut. And I'm going to run over to my die cut machine. I'll be right back. All right, step one is done. So we got that fun edge. I've got a pink card base. I haven't decided if I have a feeling I'm going to just stick with a white card base that of course I forgot to make. So that'll be next on the to-do list. Just because I think there's so much color in there, it's going to need. And then we'll do the white splatters. We'll let those dry and we'll do the die cutting at the end. So let me grab, let's see. Okay, my hot foil machine heating up. Sorry, just trying to, got like 3 things going on at once here. So I'm trying to keep my brain in straight enough gear here to do this. So I've got a box here. Let's get the white splatters here. So I'm just going to shove it in a box. And then I'm going to use, I've often used just like white acrylic paint to do, but I also have used this Amsterdam ink. It's titanium white. It's just kind of all ready to go. You don't really have to mix it up. But white acrylic paint, I usually just mix a little bit with water to kind of make a slurry. And then I'll use that to splatter. But I think this is going to work okay. Let me find my brush for splatters. Get a cup of water to soak my brush in afterwards, just so I don't let that ink dry on there. And then let's just grab a little bit of that. And you ready? Try not to get it all over my computer or camera. I feel like it inevitably happens, but we're going to just do the best we can. And I find if I just kind of get a little bit on my brush and then just tap it against my other finger, that usually works pretty good and gets enough on there. All right. Do we have enough there? Maybe. We're getting close. It shows up the best on the darker colors, I noticed, but just like a good snowfall. Okay. I think that works, and it looks like my platform is ready. So let me pull that up a little closer so you can see those snowy white splatters. Put the lid on this before I forget what I'm doing and spill. So you know I would. Pull my box out and let's see. I think I did fairly decent. I'm going to grab a wet wipe here. I can see a little bit of white paint splatters kind of around my desk. Maybe well, I think that I'll probably find more later in my hair, you know, all those other places. All right. So let's set that aside. We'll let that dry and grab some foiling paper. This is another perfect example of why I'm foiling second, because I knew I would need a little time for this to dry. Set that up. Set up there for now so it can dry. Bring over our foiling machine. I'm going to pop this on here. Turn my timer on. I don't know if it shows all the way. We're going to give it our best shot. And then let's trim a little bit of this foil down. And we'll do both the solid and the regular, and then we can decide which one we like better. And Angela, I hear what you're saying. And sometimes I like the paint because I could make it a little thicker And then when I put it on, I felt like it could stay a little bit more dimensional. But I do like that paint. I think I saw Leah use it the first time, and that's when I kind of went, oh, I should get some of that. And I kind of liked it ever since then. So, all right. Bring up my die cut machine so we're all ready. And then as soon as my timer goes off there, we'll go ahead and hot foil that. Yeah, you know, the splatter always gets everywhere, despite, you know, I don't know if it's good, but you know what I often do is I sit on the floor and do the splatter. Probably gets all over my carpet. So don't tell my husband, but at least it's not all over my desk making me crazy. So, all right, I detached this from the machine. It's kind of the best way to keep anything from shifting when you lay everything down. And then I'm going to put that on and put my things. And let's see how these satin, like I said, this is my very first try with these foils, and they've looked so pretty. I was really excited to try them. So I'm gonna peel that off in just a second, but first, oh, of course, let me pull this off and get my solid hot foil plate heating so that I have my reverse one ready to go. All right, are you ready? Let's see how. Oh my goodness. So pretty. Do you see how lovely that color is? I think that's going to be the perfect color here with our stenciling in our background. I hope you can kind of see how well that goes together. Oh, so happy that it came out so pretty, and that's such a unique and pretty color. I think I'm going to use that one. I'm going to use all of them a lot if we're being honest, but you know, gotta have them all. Yes, once you start foiling, I can guarantee you will be addicted. It's a given. Okay, while that foil heats here, I'm gonna just pull this aside. I'm gonna create that white card base. Actually, if I'm being honest, we're gonna make two of them, because if we do my plan and I have two different versions, then we're gonna need both of them. So let's get, I'm a little behind. Usually I have white card bases all created and ready to go, but I'm a little behind the game. There we go. So now we have our two white card bases. Let's just look at that sitting. Yeah, I definitely like that crisp white background. That is by far the best choice there. And I think, let me look and see here. Looks like it's getting pretty close to dry. My only fear here is when I go to, if I go to die cut the Noel, I might change my mind, just because I don't know if that'll dry enough to successfully die cut without making a mess of my cutting plates, but we will see. I'm not going to say it's a never say never moment. So let's finish our hot foiling and see how we go there. So this is about there. So I'm going to put the timer on now. It's been heating for a good while. I know Leah pushes the timer twice. I found if I just kind of leave it there for a little while after the timer comes on and kind of kill a little time and then hit the timer, it seems to work pretty good. And you know, I might be able to heat set it. Who said that? Roxanne. I might be able to, but I don't know. I haven't tried on this, and I don't know if it'll change the look and kind of mess it up. So I'm a little scared to do that. So I think I'm inclined to, yeah. And Lee, as far as things as bundles, the reason we don't do that is I know it's so easy to just jump on and feel like you need it all. But we really like to leave the option for everybody to pick just what they want, because sometimes there's that impulsive, I'm just going to go buy it all because it's available. But when it really comes down to it, maybe you only wanted the hot foil, or maybe you only wanted the stamp in that one. So the bundle kind of makes it harder to individually choose just specifically what you want. And it's also a lot more work for everyone in the office to put together everything in a bundle. And then if the bundles sell out and everyone wants more bundles, or if the bundles don't sell out and other things do, it's just kind of logistically a little more complicated, and leaving it separate, again, just really leaves the option to create what you want. As far as linking the foil that I used today, we don't have it in the Pinkfresh store yet. So I got it from Spellbinders. And if you go to Spellbinders and just look under their brand new section, I ordered it when I was visiting Leah in Minnesota, and I think it was pretty brand new. But it's the Satin Metallics Variety Pack. That's just the name of it, Satin Metallics Variety Pack. So you can find it all there at Spellbinders directly. I'm going to turn this off now because we should be all done here. Let's peel up. Oh, and you guys, the reverse foils beautifully as well. Look at that. I truly don't know which one I'm going to like better. So I'm glad we have options. Okay, let's get this unplugged and out of the way. And let's see. Now, getting on with the next little part of our card here. I think I'll just, worst case, if it gets a little on my cutting plate, it's not going to be the end of the world. So everyone who's always scared when we cut flowers in half, I feel like this is even more nerve-wracking for me, cutting that beautiful background down. But we're going to do it. We're going to go for it. We're going to be brave. And let's just see what happens. I'm just going to use my manual machine. And then at least I have to look out for the neon hot plates. Or top plate. I always have trouble getting my top and bottom plate mixed. So I also ordered the neon. I didn't know how bright they were, but the bright pink, because then I can tell apart the top and bottom a little bit easier. I won't accidentally. Okay, I think we did okay. I'm just going to clean off any white splatters that were on there that I might have missed otherwise. Get off our little bit of reusable tape. Let me grab my little cookie tool here. We'll get that O out. We're going to keep that center because we might decide we want to use that. And get the E out of the middle there. All right. That's kind of fun too, even that really modern. Let me see. Here to screen. I'm trying to figure out what the big ew is about. Maybe different color combos. We'll see. All right. So here we've got our little negative window. Now I got to pick which one of these do we want to put behind. I have a feeling it's going to be this one. I was waiting to see. We'll pop it up with foam. Let's see what the reverse one looks like too. Yeah, as pretty as that one is, I really do think on this, I like how it kind of, well, let's see. As I'm putting it on there, because we're going to have a white card base. So I think the white border is going to be the best match, although this right here is completely fun too. And I love how the letters have the bigger white space, but I'm gonna call it here, and we're going to stick with this one. So really quickly here, let's just I think I missed, the comments have just been kind of flying by, so I think I missed a couple of things. So I'm trying to catch up and follow along. So if I look a little lost, promise it's not intentional. Okay, I'm going to mark a little spot here in each of these so that I know where to cut and trim on my paper trimmer. My little heater groove there. And we'll pull that front off. And of course, those are just kind of my lines, so I have something to follow so that it will fit behind my window. I don't want it to poke through the holes too much. And it's pretty easy to follow, honestly, because I just need to cut around around the Noel, but make sure I did that right and calculated it correctly. And it looks like we're golden there, so we'll pop that up with foam adhesive. And then for the other one, I'll just kind of pop the letters into place here. Actually, in this one, I don't know, part of me wonders if this would be better on like a little mini slimline size. So we could just go across, but I think then the houses aren't going to line up. So I think I'm going to stick with this. What I might do this. We're going to use the negative space on this to line those up first. So I can kind of get those centered sort of in the same place on the card. And you know what, Audrey? I would love to use that new bling on here, but sadly, I don't even have it in my hands yet. Leah has it because she needed them to photograph, but they are so brand new that we don't even have those. So if I could, I absolutely would. I'm just gonna say that right now. Yes, Leah will use them on Thursday. She's the lucky recipient of the first set of them there. Sometimes it pays to be the photographer, I guess, right? Ooh. We're having kind of unseasonably warm weather here in Washington, and it's toasty here with the sun right through. So we're gonna just line up again. I'm just using this as a guideline. Good. These are going to be easy to pop off. So, you know what? Even to do like an ellipse card, look at how fun. I don't know if it makes it really subtle. I think you can see it more in real life, but kind of a fun, just with them popped up dimensionally over the spot there. If you peel the backing off of pretty much any foam tape, it also allows you to kind of curve it around whatever you're sticking it to. So also another fun tidbit. Okay, my Band-Aid is getting in my way there. This is also going to help me line up so that the houses are all in the right location and kind of how they really should be. Really stick into my fingers today. The adhesive is working so well. I think it's my Band-Aid getting in the way. I'm going to blame that. Just a little bit there. Save that little scrap for later. And let's get these letters final spot in there. And then that one. Okay, and then we'll carefully peel that off. And there we have that for, let's see. No, I don't think I'm going to use that one, but how fun, just really simple and modern. And then we're add a little secondary sentiment on there as well. And then a little bit of bling on that one. tape off of there. And then we're going to pop this up over background there. Where did I put? There. I knew I had another white card base. I just had to remember where it was. Then let's get some foam adhesive on the background. Where we can pop this up over. Oh, yeah, this tape feels like uber extra sticky today. A little bit of extra there. Little tiny bit of extra there. Save those for later. And then we need a good little solid piece there. And then do a smaller piece there. I could use those little fun foam pre-trimmed strips that we use all the time, but those might be a different thickness than this foam tape, so I want to make sure and keep it all the same. So I'm not going to take a chance on that. Normally my scissors do not stick like this, so I don't quite know. So I feel like I'm just more fumbly with that. Anyone else have that when you have a Band-Aid on your finger? It's kind of important so you don't bleed everywhere, but it just really gets in the way. Just me? Yes, I get this foam tape from Amazon. I think it's 1 inch wide. As you can see, there's certain times when maybe the smaller would have benefits. Less fiddly for this kind of purpose, but while it's fiddly, I just always figure that extra dimension is going to be so worth it in the end that I'm willing to put that effort in. All right, I'm going to swap over to my other scissors and see if that helps here. So I want to put a couple little tiny thin strips through there. Yep, this is definitely, I think it's just because it's what I'm used to. So very thin strips there. Maybe it's just been uber hot in my craft room and it's extra sticky. Okay, we're going to call that good enough. I do like foam adhesive and I do want this to really pop up well in the background, but I think we've achieved enough of that. This would also make a really fun shaker card, I'm thinking as I look at it. It's just a silly little tiny nick of a cut. It wasn't even anything major, but didn't want to stop bleeding, and card making and bleeding just really don't go well together. So funny how that goes. Hey, got so much foam adhesive. I need to line this up perfectly. Okay, it. Had to focus there for a minute so I didn't miss. I kind of used, this is an important reference to make sure I got that spot there. So you can see that little bit of dimension we got there from bumping that up. And then we're going to add that on there. And then we're going to add, we're not done yet. Still got one more thing here to do. We need to add that secondary something. Let me just test here too and see. Do we want to add that in there with foam adhesive? I was thinking no, but you know what, now that I'm looking at it, I feel like that might really kind of help finish the design. So I'm gonna kind of go for that. Line it up as level as possible. There we go. I think that does kind of finish the design a little bit better. Whew, okay. That foam taping had me sweating. So here is the last thing I want to add in here. And I think so my plan was just to kind of pop that Merry and Bright right up in the middle. And I do think I'm going to just stick with that. I'm just going to stamp that twice on a scrap of cardstock and detail black. Let's get this stamped on here a couple times. And I'll just trim it down and we'll just kind of pop it on there. I even have debated on heat embossing it in white on black, but we'll start here with this and see, because if we need it in the black, I'll grab some scraps of black cardstock and we'll revert to that. But stamp it a couple times. I like to stamp gently so I don't lose the detail there. Okay, and then we'll move it up. And I think as I'm looking at this one, I still feel like it's going to need something there. So I might grab a couple of, I think I have some snowflakes still from the snowflake background stamped. And I feel like some of those tucked around on that is going to finish that off. We'll see if we have time here. If we don't, that might just be something I add later after the live. And then when I post that finished card. See how this looks, and then if we want to just keep these as is, so trim these down. The stamp press is so small. Uh-oh, we're getting those spam comments again. It looks like Leah's about to be busy. So if she misses some comments, give her some grace here. Those always seem to kind of come in spurts like that. Let her get those deleted. We'll trim this down and see what we think. My little paper trimmer here. Make sure they're straight. Okay. All right. Then we're going to trim those down. You know what? I actually think these are going to probably be just fine just in the black on the white. I'll keep them light and bright. A lot of times I love the crispness of a black sentiment with the black cardstock with the white heat emboss sentiment. But I think on these, I think these are actually going to be perfect. Just got to decide where I want to put them. I know, Sharon, usually, well, it's because there's always so many beautiful flower cards. All right, we're just going to pop that one up there. It's going to be nice and easy on that one. And then I didn't write down what bling I was going to use yet because I wasn't entirely sure what color, pop foil or whatever, but you know there's going to be some bling on there somewhere. If I had the new ones, cards are off the screen quite a bit. Maybe adjust your screen because I have them pretty centered there, Sharon. I don't know. Oh, just realized I didn't stick that down yet either, but let's get this on there first. On this one, just kind of centered in between there. And then let's run that tape runner on the back of this. Would help to adhere this down onto the card base. It's kind of just floating on its own there. there's that one. And then this one, also one more thing I'm going to check here. You know what? I think, and I already have these stuck on there. I'm going to have to think about this one for a minute. So I really would like to trim that down now and put it on a pink base, but maybe we'll see if we can just add a pink frame around the outside. Again, some of this I might mess with this a little bit afterwards. So for now, I'm just going to kind of put that center on there. So I might wait to finish embellishing that second one just because I'm a little undecided of how I want to finish that one, because I do almost feel like it needs a little bit of a background. Let's get that kind of on there. We'll just overlap that up over the O a little. And then, yeah, I'm kind of wishing I didn't have those stuck down yet, because then I could trim that panel down and put them on that way. Like die cut it, but I don't want to squish that now that I have the letters on there with foam. So now I'm just trying to decide. Yeah, we'll finish that, but let's get a little bit of bling on this card at least for now. And then this one will be just a work in progress that I'll finish soon. Towards, yeah, I definitely think some pink. Rippling through, not gold, maybe a little bit of peach fuzz. That's a little too dark. Do white. A little bit of champagne, that might be a good finishing touch. You like how I pulled out all the colors to pick? I'll just kind of grab a handful. Other past, no, not the right blue there. Let's kind of ponder these and which ones we want to put on here. And actually, let's just simplify this. Since I have these, I'm just going to pull out those. I feel like I need to get a few more of those embellishment trays. And I can just use the lid for that while we pick where to put these. I'm shedding today. You can tell I washed my hair. I keep catching little bits of my hair shedding tucked around. All right, let's try a little trio. I'm going to just try kind of a couple different colors here and see what works. And actually, and I think as I'm seeing them on here, the crystals just, or the jewels just kind of disappear. So I think I'm gonna just stick with the champagne ones, because I think those go really well with that foil we used, and those are, ooh, just gonna pop the most. I might use those colors on the other one once I kind of come up with a finishing plan there, but I'm gonna reserve the right to do that afterwards so that I can really fiddle around and get that one to where I'm happy with. Just put a little trio of these for now, right around the sentiment, I think. We might add a little more on those. But for now, we'll put this on there. And at least this card will be mostly done. Kind of a fun, different 2-for-1. Haven't done anything quite like this in a while, so enjoyed. And I didn't really know, and I had an idea that I wanted to try this, I wasn't entirely sure if it would work. So it's always a little more nerve-wracking when you're attempting that. All right, here is, oop, you can see that. So those are so little and delicate. I'm just probably gonna add a dot of glue behind those and attach them down just so I don't catch them and move them. But there's that beautiful foiling behind there, the fun little window, or a little bit of bling. And then the not quite finished work in progress. I'll narrow this down and decide for sure what I want to do. I mean, I like it just plain, but I do feel like a little pink border is going to be much, much better. So I'll finish this one off and I'll post these both together here very shortly, hopefully in the next few days on my blog. Let me get the camera switched around. Let's get a winner announced. We're getting this landed and done right in time. Thanks for bearing with me, everyone. And let's let Leah pick a winner. The container, Sarah, for the embellishments. I don't know if we still have any in stock. That's actually how we started carrying all of our jewels and crystals. And then we started carrying them in the refills. And oddly enough, the beautiful packages that had all the fun little things in them didn't sell as well as the little individual packs. So I think we're discontinuing those, but there might still be a few available in the store if you haven't looked yet. And Sharon, if you mean X-Acto knife to trim that down, I can easily use a paper trimmer. What I was kind of thinking is that I wanted to use like a die cut to get a border, but I think I might just end up trimming it down, maybe layering it with a different die cut. I'm just going to take some time to play with it and not hold you guys all day while I figure that out. And there is Leah announcing the winner. Congratulations to Angela Runkle. I don't know if I said your name right, but you are today's $15 gift card winner. Email Leah at Pinkfresh Studio. Her name is just L-E-A. There's no H on the end. And give her 2 to 3 business days to get back to you. So it'll be by the end of this week. And thank you everyone for joining. I'm going to say goodbye and let you guys go. We're just 2 minutes over, so I don't want to take up any more of your day. But take care, enjoy the day, stay safe if you're in Florida, and hopefully you can hunker down and get some crafting done and hide out in your house for a little while. Have a great rest of your week, everyone, and we will see you Thursday for Facebook Live with Leah.